Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessTraded.com nightly wrap-up show. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Take a moment out to support the channel. All I ask is a tenth of a second of your time. Click a like, support the channel if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel. Again, hopefully I will continue to do my best. So where are we, right? If you're, well, let's bring it back a little bit. I tweeted this out a little bit early in the day. I think if you started trading this year, right? And again, everybody starts at some point, right? I started in 1999. So somebody's always going to start somewhere. And you always remember kind of different aha moments in your life, or at least in your developing early stage of your trading career. I think for all you guys who started trading this year, right? For this year, and just been watching the broadcast for the last, let's just say 3 weeks. I think there's no bigger aha moment than what you've seen in the last 3 weeks. And that is the importance of the 50-day moving average. Again, we've been kind of overing this in nauseum. I think a lot of traders always roll their eyes when they hear about this, but the data is the data, guys. Again, it's so specific of understanding where the power lies, which way the wind is blowing. It's crucial to your ability to make right decisions, have a feasibility study go into the next day and making decisions, based on data, not what you think. And you can see it here. When we lost the 50-day moving average, we went down 26 points on the Qs in a matter of 5 trading sessions. And again, the only question was, how long were we going to be below the 50-day moving average? And once we got back above, and I think everybody by now kind of knows that 607 level, that was the green light. I mean, that was the green light. And you can see here in the last 6 sessions, we had all green bars. Guys, there wasn't even the day that we opened lower, right? Opened lower, I think it was on Monday, we closed in a green bar. Green bar basically means a higher close than open. And yes, we were not overbought day 2 above the 50-day moving average, right? Here we are. So the moral of the story is very simple. You're going to see a lot of trials and tribulations through your early stages. You're going to piece things together. But the most basic thing, folks, again, just write this down, stick it on the sticky pad, and you don't have to feel like a victim. You don't have to guess which way the wind is blowing. Above the 50-day, it's bullish. Below the 50-day is bearish. And again, you can see just by data what happens when you lose the 50-day and then what happens when you reclaim the 50 days. So hopefully, again, if you are having that aha moment, hopefully this is the most basic thing that you can put in your mental Rolodex. So when you see it happening again, you don't need to guess what happens the next day. You're going with the probability. So let's talk about it. You wake up this morning, futures are up 100 and change. Oh yeah, here we go. Another melt up. There's going to be some distribution on some names, more strength on other names. But the moral of the story is that it's going to just keep on kind of playing this out until we get back the 50-day moving average, risk on. And then all of a sudden comes out news right before the open that Microsoft is reporting net sales or guidance of sales of AI, which is negative. And as you can imagine, everything gets slammed. So we go from up 100 points on the NASDAQ to down 150 points on the NASDAQ, like that. As you can imagine, everything goes red. And as you can imagine, Microsoft gets, well, the worst of it, right? It gets the worst of it. The stock just absolutely implodes at the open. Everything else implodes at the open. But guess what? Right? At some point during the day, CNBC reports that Microsoft did not issue this forecast, which is kind of a big deal because, well, AI is brand new. AI is sexy. It's the new kid on the block. You're looking for growth. You're looking for customer acquisition. You're looking for organic ability to do business, that this is a viable thing, not a quote-unquote .com bubble. And as you can imagine, the market recovered again. So these are really, really good things. You're talking about bad news, initial shoot the messenger first, ask questions later, and the NASDAQ still went green on the day. And this is kind of playing out the thesis that bad news gets swallowed up very, very aggressively in an uptrending market, especially that's reclaimed a major level. So things were very, very good as far as the rebound goes. But again, at all juncture, Microsoft did close only a couple of points away from the lows. So the one thing about the Microsoft story is, and you can say whatever you want as far as AI and its prospects in the future for every individual company. Microsoft's one of those names that have been below the 50-day moving average all the way since the beginning of November. And again, another case in point, the stock has gone from 515 all the way down to 464 in a matter of a month. So again, you could clearly see another data point how important the 50-day moving average is. But if you look at all the other names in the space, you had NVIDIA, right? If you had NVIDIA, obviously, this was an industry type of scenario. If AI is good for one group, it's good for everything. If AI is bad for one group, then it's bad for everybody. So NVIDIA, again, got hit a little bit today. Amazon that introduced their, or at least introducing their AI chip in the PR yesterday, got hit a little bit today. Not a big deal as well. Again, it's continuing to build above the 50-day moving average, reclaimed it at 227. Again, another case in point, went all the way up to 240 and now is just digesting above it. But overall, the market continues to be good. You had some data come in this morning, some ADP job data strength, which helped out the Dow up 400 points, S&P up 20 points, and the NASDAQ up 40 points of hopefully a Fed cut in its near future. But the biggest story today, definitely the biggest story today, at least in my world, and I'm sure all you guys who trade with me and all you guys who kind of follow me and all that good stuff, is Tesla. Mazel tov. It's a celebration, bitches. Yesterday, Tesla, if you've been watching the video, tried to reclaim the 50-day moving average. It went up 3 points. And it took a crap on itself. And yesterday, when I was recording the video, and I said to myself, well, I actually said it on the video. There's no rhyme or reason why a stock fails a major level, especially after it reclaims it. But I wanted to give it today. The benefit of the doubt. I think I'm pretty sure I even said that on last night's video. And I said, look, there might have been a reload seller. And the one thing that I don't care how good of a trader you are or how good of a trader you think you are, the one thing we cannot defend against, okay, is a motivated reload seller. So, for example, if Fidelity and Magellan wants to dump 10 million shares, they don't care if it's the 50-day moving average, the 10-day moving average, the 1-second chart, they will unload their shares, and there's nothing you can do until that seller gets cleaned up. And this morning, you saw news that Trump made an announcement there. Basically, the White House is backing robotics, right? Robots, obviously a good thing, right? Obviously a good thing considering Tesla does, well, all that stuff, right? Again, I'm not going to go into specifics. I'm not smart enough to have that intelligent conversation. But the point is, I said to myself, if it could reclaim back yesterday's levels, well, there's a chance it finally goes. And the one thing that we did not see yesterday that we did see today was super aggressive call buying coming in on the reclaim of the 50-day moving average. We saw nonstop calls coming in for the 450 weeklies. Nonstop, one after another. We saw some 480s coming in for next week. We saw some January 500s come in. Okay, a little bit ambitious, but okay, I get it, right? I get it. And it finally reclaimed. I'm pretty pleased here. Here's our daily pivot watch. It finally reclaimed. Again, as always, I'm always prepared from both sides. 436.80 to the upside, 422 to the downside. So Tesla starts building above the 50-day moving average. We get long, goes up a little bit and just stays there. Goes up a little bit and it just stays there. Goes up a little bit, and you can see there's a seller in the crowd at 437. I'm like, oh God, not again. Dude, they got to clean this guy up. But fortunately, this time around, they did clean him up, and Tesla went out of its mind. It went out of its mind. You can see here after the initial kind of pause on the 50-day moving average, it just started going really, really aggressively and closed within a couple of bucks of the day. The only question going into tomorrow is, again, stocks don't have to go straight up once they reclaim the 50-day moving average. The question going into tomorrow's session is Is it going to have a day two powerful rally, or is it just going to take a pregnant pause, right? Is it going to take a pregnant pause, have an inside day, and then resume in the next couple of days? Maybe, maybe by Friday. I'm obviously hoping it resumes. We got nearly a $10 move on this thing. But again, it's very, very possible you get some early morning profit taking. They trap some shorts on rising 60-minute support. So if we do get a weaker open, which I hope we don't, but if we do get a weaker open, if you're not long the stock, use that opportunity on your 60-minute charts. And again, a lot of you guys are like, what the hell is a 60-minute chart? Okay, that could be a problem. But if you get any weakness into a rising 60-minute support and the bulls trap there, it could go red to green at some point. If it takes out today's channel, look how much room you have all the way up to this upper linear regression line. The next big level for Tesla is going to be the November 10 highs of 449.60s. If it could get back above 449.60s, you can see here there's room all the way up into the 460s before it starts testing the November high. So I'm really pleased. I'm really, really pleased about Tesla, especially after yesterday's just debacle of a mental, what's this called, debacle. I want to keep it PG-13. Other pivots today, Qualcomm. I think we talked about Qualcomm last night in the video. If we didn't, I apologize. 171.17. 3-star play. Again, I'm not going to go into what all these stars mean, but Qualcomm, again, look what happened yesterday. Yesterday, first close above the 50-day moving average, reclaimed 171.17 and closed at the high of the day at 175. Again, more upside. Same notes for Qualcomm that I have for Tesla. I could put an inside day tomorrow, but it does look like it has more upside. Again, first close above the 50-day moving average. ARWR went absolutely nuts. I do think I spoke about ARWR in last night's video. If I didn't, I apologize, guys. I'm so tired. I have no idea what I'm saying anymore. ARWR 59.30 basically needs to build. Here was ARWR. Right? Went nuts. Beautiful move. Consolidation went out of its mind. Big move. Big move there as well. Circle, again, we're always prepared on both sides. 81.5 up, 74 down. Circle got above the 81.5. Here was Circle. Right? Here was Circle. Got above the 81.5. Traded all the way up to 86 and change where it closed at the high of the day. Still looks higher. Some 88 weekly call buyers came in. Google never got below 1389, but we did have an upside pivot on Google later, right? We did have an upside pivot on Google on later. 319 needs to build, went up to like 21 and change. Nice little move there. And Eli Lilly, right? Eli Lilly, we definitely talked about Eli Lilly in last night's video. Eli Lilly, 1040, if builds below, can flush. Here was Eli Lilly, took out the 1040, traded right into the next support of roughly 1020. So nice move there. Overall, I'm pretty happy that Tesla now is finally above the 50-day moving average. A little bit of profit taking here at the close, down about a buck on the close. But again, if this thing does have a true day two, or even has a res day tomorrow, I think at some point it goes green of the day just from momentum. But if there is any significant profit taking tomorrow at the open, again, if you don't have a position, try to get this thing on a rising 60-minute support, because if they do trap, it could be really good. Let me give you guys a couple of plays for tomorrow so you guys can watch. Obviously, we just talked about the Teslas, the Qualcomms of the world. Guys, look at Robinhood. Talk about a stock that potentially can reclaim the 50-day moving average, right? Look at Robinhood, guys. This thing is very close. Robinhood gets above the 50-day. This thing can wake up. Look at Path, right? Path, same thing now. First close above the 50-day moving average. Just needs to get back above this upper Bollinger Band. This thing looks pretty good as well. And look at this other stock, Beam. Beam me up, Scotty, right? First close above the 50-day moving average with some pretty good relative volume. A little too thin for me. I only traded a couple million shares. But let's see if this thing can have a day two as well. That's it. That's all I got. Guys, have a great night, everybody. God bless. Let's see what kind of trouble we can get into tomorrow. And with God's help, I will see you all in the field. Take care.